Hello Year 4, it's Mr. Tamlin here and welcome to our next music lesson. Today it's the 1st of March and we're going to be focusing on something called body percussion. So could I ask you to pause the video to copy the date and the title into your red topic books now. Let's get started with today's music lesson and we're going to begin with our learning powers. Now our first focus is all about making links. If you were able to watch last week where we looked at lots of different musical instruments and periods of history in music, we're going to be making links with that lesson today. And then our second learning power is all about planning. We're going to use our own imagination and ideas to help us with today's activity. So let's get started with total recall. Now, if you watched last lesson, we were introduced to lots of different musical instruments. For our total recall questions today, we're going to try and guess which instrument is being played. Now, please don't worry if you haven't watched last week, because for our questions, I've given you 3 pictures of instruments. My question to you is this. We're going to listen to a sound clip in a moment, and I'd like you to try and guess which instrument is being played. So there are your 3 options. For question 1, we've got a trumpet, we've got a piccolo, and we've got a clarinet. Now listen to the sound clip and try and write your answer into your book. Here is the instrument sound now. Okay, let's go through the answer to question number 1. Was it a trumpet, was it a piccolo, or was it a clarinet? Give yourself a tick if you have guessed piccolo. That is the sound of a piccolo woodwind instrument there. Let's go on to question number 2 now. We've got 3 different instruments now. We've got an oboe here, a piano here, and then a bassoon. Listen to the sound clip and again, think what instrument is being played. Once you think you know, write your answer in your book. Here's the sound clip now. Let's go through the answer to question number 2. This instrument is an oboe. So give yourself a tick if you've got an oboe there. Let's go on to question number 3 now. Out of these 3 instruments, which instrument is being played? We've got a harpsichord, which is very much back in time when we think about the Baroque period, one of our earliest periods of history that we looked at. We've got a piano here and we've got a harp. Listen to the sound clip and then write your answer in your book. Here it is. The answer to question number 3, well, this instrument is the harpsichord. So one of our earliest instruments that we looked at. Give yourself a tick if you've got that one there. We've got our 4th and our final question now, Year 4. It looks like this. Which instrument is being played? We've got a double bass here, quite a large instrument. We've got a cello, so a smaller stringed instrument. And then we've got the harp. Listen to the sound clip and for this final time, write your answer in your book. Here's the sound. Okay, our final answer. Get ready to tick if you have guessed the instrument is a cello. Very similar to a double bass, but the cello is much smaller. The double bass is a much larger instrument and therefore makes a much lower sound than the cello. Well done, Year 4, if you've guessed our 4 instruments there. Let's get started on today's lesson. Now, as well as playing instruments, we can use our bodies to make lots of different types of sound. Now, I've got a little challenge here, Year 4. Using only our hands, can you try these sounds? We've got clap, click, and rubbing our hands together. With these 3 sounds, can you try and make quite loud sounds, quite quiet sounds? Can you go maybe fast claps, clicks and rubs, or can you do slow possibly? Pause the video to try out these body percussion sounds now. Okay, now we're going to watch and listen to a piece of music by this composer. So this lady is called Anna Meredith, and she's a British composer and performer. She's born in London, grew up in Scotland, and studied in York. So she has created a piece of music called Connect It. Now, Connect It was written in 2014, and it's especially for the BBC 10 Pieces, which is what we looked at last week. We had lots of different musical compositions. This piece, though, is a bit unusual because it doesn't contain any instruments at all. So it's very different to the music we listened to last week because it just contains body percussion and vocal sounds only. We're going to watch the composition now and listen to what it sounds like. Now that we've watched the musical composition Connect It, we're going to think about our own musical task. Now, we're going to create our own musical motif. Now, a musical motif is basically like just a short musical idea. It will consist of 8 beats, and we're going to use a mixture of 8 body percussion sounds. Now, to remember our ideas, we're going to create a graphic score to show our body percussion motif. Now, a graphic score is basically something that uses pictures just to remind you and to show the different sounds that you're going to produce. So, here are some examples of lots of different sounds. So, behind the yellow box, we've got clap. Now, for a clap, I have done a picture of a star there to remind myself that whenever I see a star, it's clap. I've got some bubbles here because I think that reminds me of the click. So that's our body percussion of click. We've also got tap head. That's a new body percussion sound. And I've got an arrow pointing upwards, almost to remind myself to tap my head, which is at the top. Other examples of sounds, we've got stomp. So I'm thinking about my feet now. It can be both feet or one foot. And I've got like an explosion bubble there. I've got tap knees, and I've just got a circle just to represent I need to tap my knees. and then zigzag shapes to rub hands. Now here are 6 examples of sounds, and for today's lesson you might just want to magpie and use my ideas, or you might want to come up with completely new sounds and completely new shapes of your own. Either way is absolutely fine. Now, a graphic score is something that we record our ideas, and today we've got 8 beats. So I've got the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beside of each number, I'm going to draw some symbols. So can you see, here is my example of a graphic score. I've got beat 1, I've got star, and if you remember, star was a clap. On beat 2, I've got the arrow facing up, so tap head. I've got stomping symbols for beats 3 and 4. The bubbles were click for beat 5. Another clap for 6, tap these for beat 7, and then a final clap for beat 8. So you can use a mixture of shapes that come up more than once. You can also do what I've done for beat 7, where you have 2 symbols together, which means for beat 7, I need to do a double tap of my knees there, or it could be one knee then the other, completely up to you. So here is my example of a graphic score. And what we're going to do with it is we're going to use it to perform. Now, I would like you to pause the video now and see in your books if you can write the numbers 1 to 8 to represent each beat, and then draw a mixture of symbols just like this. Pause the video and then click play once you have your own graphic score. Now what we can do is we can perform a motif, and I've got a sound clip here which is going to be our background sound. I'm going to shout out beats, and when I shout out a number, I would like you to perform your own motif. So when I shout out beat 1, I want you to do your body percussion for 1, whether it's clap, click, tap knees or stomp. When I shout 2, perform your action for beat 2. For beat 3, perform your action for beat 3, all the way up till I get to the number 8. I will, though, year 4, do it twice, so I'm going to repeat it. So once you've done all 8, get ready to perform it all again for a second time. And then we've got our body percussion musical composition. So get ready to listen to the sounds, get your hands, get your feet ready, whatever you need to do. Look at your graphic score and get ready to perform now.
Ready, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well done, year 4. Hopefully you've been able to perform your own body percussion composition. Now, what I'd like you to do is either record your ideas, if you can record on your device, or take pictures of yourself performing your body percussion and then send them to your class teacher. I've added the background music sound clip with me calling out each number for you to perform one more time, but this time I'd like you to either record it or take pictures ready to send. Okay, get ready to perform, year 4. Well done for everything you've done today, and hopefully you've enjoyed our body percussion lesson. Okay, bye for now.
Ready, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.